Okay, today I haven't really done, well, I haven't posted any videos, although um, I did one where I worked on a shot, and the problem was, it was an epic fail. And I learned a really valuable lesson, and the valuable lesson I learned was that um, when you have an animatic, which is what we have here in opentoonz, where we can just zip through and we see all the keys for the whole scene, there's a lot of freshness and energy that gets created when you do that animatic. And um, so obviously you need to finish those shots up. Sometimes you need to add like a tween to smooth out some motion, this sort of thing. But if you find yourself re-envisioning the shot, improving it, what happens invariably, and I can say that this has probably happened 100% of the time, is that if I get in the zone of redoing one of these shots, whatever I do can look really cool, but once it's cut into the show, it's always worse. It's never better. And so I think the takeaway for me is that this process of creating this animatic like this, where I'm determining most of the keyframes in the show, just really figuring out how I'm going to tell the story. That's where all the energy is. And once you have that, you want to stick to that in the finishing step. So anyway, long story short is I wasted time redoing this particular shot in a different way, and it looked comparatively stupid. Now I hesitate to show it, folks. I hesitate to show it because it's actually kind of embarrassing. But I believe this is it. No, that's the old one. Yeah, here it is. Look at this. So what can I say, man? I got carried away. And I redid the shot with a camera move. I cut it into the show, and it looked stupid, I'm here to tell you. And this shot, I'm chucking it, man. Whereas the original animatic was nothing more than, let me go back to this. The original animatic had only this drawing. So what I did was I added a new drawing. I just duplicated it. Then I added a new expression and then did this thing where you erase the marker lines or the ink lines and you just draw them twice and you put it on two so it just looks like it's got this warble thing going on. And that cut into the show great. So it's like, all right, dude, learn your lesson. Stick to the plan. Okay, so and then for this shot, we actually had two shots. We had basically this and this. And so what I did was I just cut these guys and shrunk them down and animated them a little bit. So now I'm kind of in the same boat. The next shot literally is just one drawing. This drawing right here. So, but I want to do a camera move pushing in. So what I did was I brought it into Krita and very quickly just duplicated the layer 4 times and then cut everybody out of everybody else's layer. So now I actually have the 4 layers. And then what I did was I saved it as an ORA file. Now that's the native format of my paint. Well, why would I use ORA? Well, because an ORA file is actually just a zip file with an ORA extension instead of zip. And if you unzip the ORA file, what you discover is that inside there's metadata, this which shows the quote-unquote merged image. So this is the final result of the combining of all those layers. But the salient point is right here we actually have all of the layers as individual ping files. That's cool because that means I can bring those images into Blender 2.8, which is what I'm about to do, and do my camera move. So here we go. By the way, that can be deleted. Oh, come on. X delete. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an image, images as planes. Now hopefully Blender 2.8 will be smart enough. I'm going to make these shadeless. And I don't need to do auto refresh because I don't want, like this animate image sequence, I don't want that. I don't want Blender to see it as an image sequence. I just want to bring in the cluster of images and then I'll figure out how I want to position them. So, anime, aura, and here we go. I'm grabbing all of these, importing them as planes, and there they are. Okay, so now, if we go into render mode, this is great because now all I got to do is I'm just going to hit G on the Y axis and this guy's going to be a little further back. She's going to be further back from there. And these two guys are, well, frankly, relatively similar in terms of their z-space. Now, there is actually a problem that I see. I'm not sure. I'm starting to doubt whether these have their proper alpha channels. Let's go on the X, and they don't. However, okay, that's a wrinkle I hadn't really counted on. Why would it not save the alpha channels? Well, there's one way I can test what's going on here. You know, isn't it the way? Whenever I start doing one of these videos, all of a sudden things break. Well, welcome to the real world, pal. Okay, so I'm going to open up my paint because what I want to find out is what does my paint think of this aura file. So I'm going to grab this aura file, drag it in here. Okay, and now let's take it. Yeah, see, my paint definitely dealt with the alpha channels correctly. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cheat here a little bit, I think. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the R key to sample that color and then just hit a dot. The reason I did that is I wanted to do something to change the file. And now I'm going to save it because you know, Krita may be doing something stupid when it saves the ORA file. Now, by the way, the point, well, let me think about this. If that's true, though, why would my paint see the alpha channels correctly? That suggests that the problem is actually in Blender, come to think of that. So maybe it's something I've done wrong in terms of my setup here. I'm not going to actually worry about that yet. Let's go ahead and get some of this stuff sort of sized up the way it needs to be. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. Apparently there is a a limit on how much you can size something. Let's see. Go on the y-axis. Okay, so we'll pull this up. Yeah, I guess excuse me, I just got distracted by a fairly hot babe just walked by in the background and just totally distracted me. So, yeah, sorry about that, folks. I can't really help it. When hot babes walk by in the background, I wakey. All right, so let's go on the X and let's size this guy up. So I'm just guessing. Oh, that's kind of weird. Let's look at this. Okay, it's definitely in front. Okay, that's a little problematic. Let's change this to median points or individual origins. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, that's a little more palatable. Okay, so that's fine. And we'll just hit the shift key to fine tune this. Okay, and I guess we'll put these guys here in the center of the world and size them up. And then we'll put this, well, he's pretty much already in the center of the world, so let's size him up. And finally, Put that in the center of the world and size him up. Now, it appears that in our Y space we may have a little bit of an issue. Let's go on the Y. Okay. So now let's go ahead and just save this. Save as 0101. And now we got to figure out what the heck is going on with our alpha channels. I bet you what happened was when I used the import images as planes, there's probably an option to recognize the alpha channels that I failed to set. So I'll bet you, yes, that's the problem. Alpha blend, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Alpha blend. Okay, let's go on the Y. So he's got his alpha blend set properly, but he does not have his. We don't want shadow mode, we want that. Oh, come on. There he is. Alpha, oops, not alpha clip, alpha. Hey, sorry, I keep grabbing the shadow thing. I have actually literally no idea what that even is. Not a clue. Alright, now just to be as a sanity check, I'm going to reposition these guys a little bit. That can be opaque. So let's go to camera. And not bad, not bad, not bad. Okay, so that's okay. The only one that's sort of egregious would be this guy because he's completely sized wrong. So there he is. So let's grab him this way. And then we can size him up like that. And presumably, let's see who that is. That's Akari. Yeah, presumably what we should be able to do now is show our camera. Boom. And now we'll put the camera on the scene. And let's turn on auto keying. Let's go to the dope sheet. And let's go on the Y. Like so. And then what do we want? We want, it can't be much more than a second. Let's do like 32. Alright, go on the Y. Something like that, as my friends from Decatur would say. Okay. So we got a little bit of parallax going on. Now, can we improve this? Well, geez. I'm going to rename this to Akari. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do the same thing I did the other day when I added secondary animation. But before I do that, I'm going to turn auto keying back off. Because one thing I want to do is I want to put this guy closer to the camera. And I want to put this guy closer to the camera. Alright. And now I'm going to have to shrink them. Size him down maybe to about there. Hopefully I got the right one here. Size him down to about there. Because what I want to do is I want the parallax effect to be a little stronger. Yeah, that's better. Okay, and in my opinion, let's see, where's this guy? Okay, I'm going to grab this guy, and I actually think I want him to be smaller, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing here. Go on the Y. I'm just going to move him back a little bit. Let's see what that does. Okay, I don't know. It seems to me it should be even more extreme. Go on the Y. Let's move him way back. And I think just for kicks and giggles, we'll move our background back a bit too. So that's going to have to be sized up. And obviously, this fella, I was going to say he needs to be sized up too, but actually he doesn't. I think, let's position him like that. Let's see how that feels. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, now we can grab Akari, and let's save our work, save early, save often. And we're going to go W. We're going to do the same thing we did before. Unfortunately, in Blender 2.8, I do not know how to like isolate this particular object and make everything else disappear. I would assume. I mean, I could go. Well, I guess I could do it like this, couldn't I? Just. Ha! Okay, that was too easy. Okay, problem solved. All right, so now we're gonna go. Control. I don't want box select. We're in edit mode. I want lasso select. Curse you. Why is it? I know this is really, really embarrassing. Because I literally don't know how to grab. The other day, when I did this before, I was in edit mode, and just, Blender 2.79 way, I just went control, drag, and right now what we see here is I can grab them one at a time, but I can't lasso them. Even when I use the box select, nothing happens. Nothing's selected. Okay, now until it is. Bizarre. Okay. I'm getting a little rattled here, folks. Getting a little rattled. That's okay. That's okay. We're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. Okay. Now, I should have done this in 2.79. Curses. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to do, I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to actually try to do this with bones. Just because it seems like a doggone bold thing to do. Oh, come on, let go there. So this guy I'm going to grab, and I'm just going to hope against hope that this works, because it probably won't. Extrude this, extrude that. Okay, so now if I turn here, go into object mode, go on the Y, what I want to do is get this as close to it as possible. Yeah, unfortunately, when you turn, that's an interesting conundrum. When you turn sideways, you can't actually see how close they are. But okay, it looks like it's pretty good. So I'm going to take this and make it I'm going to do it the old Blender 2.79 way and see what happens. So Control P, and I'm going to do an armature deform. This is probably really stupid, but okay, with automatic weights. This is not going to work. There's no way this is going to work. Okay, it worked. Okay, I'm not going to argue with that. Okay, so now what I want to do is go like this, and I just want to, You like these sound effects? Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to grab all the... I can't believe that worked, because I've had so many other things that just haven't worked the same way. Alright, select all, Control D. I guess this is my lucky day. Okay, now these need to be interpolated constant. Okay, so now we turn everybody else on, metaphorically speaking, and from our camera view, but I guess what I want to do is hit Control Tab, and then I want to grab the armature and make it invisible. I don't want to see it. All right, here we go. I can't believe that worked. Let's go to 32 here. That's just like, it's comical how well it worked. But I think it's kind of important that she stop at some point. Okay, so let me go ahead and go back to my armature. Let's grab that. Sorry. Armature. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to box select up to about here. So what I want her to do is struggle. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I'm going to make it go to 48 because that way, if I wanted to, I could, in the edit, I could either start it later or end it earlier if I want to tweak the timing. Okay, so there we go. I can't believe it. That was too easy. I keep thinking I hear someone sexy behind me. Okay, here's this. And what we're going to do is we're going to L anime render 0101.avi. Okay, and that's because we're going to make this a AVI JPEG. 90%, yeah, that's fine. Save that. Let's render that sucker. Control F12, and up in this other window, things are moving. You think about it, I could have even added motion blur. Truth be known. So that's not too bad. I just am really shocked that that went as well as it did. I can see some flaws right here that probably should be tweaked a bit, but you know what? I'm not going to worry about that right now because I have a feeling that the motion, I have the feeling that your focus is not going to be on this or even this little flaw in his hand. Your focus is going to be on her struggling, and plus the camera's moving. So where are we at here? Frame 40. What did we go up to? 48, I think. Okay, so meanwhile, I'm going to jump back to here. And this is actually going to be really impressive, I think. Go back to my image viewer, and I'm looking for 101.avi. Dragging it in. And let me see what we got. Okay, I'm going to start here. Okay, that will work. I'm going to cut that off a little sooner. So now, in order to get rid of that flickering, I got to go save and open recent. And here we go again. That'll work. That'll work, folks. And then it's going to be on to the next shot, which is going to be here. Looks like it's a close-up, so we're going to go preview this. And probably we'll do the same thing. We'll just, we can do it in opentoonz, though, in this case, because what we can do is well, we got a couple options. We could do plastic tool pretty readily because we've got all these pieces that are clearly separated from each other. So we could do it with plastic tool, or we could just add some keyframes where his hand kind of goes, you know, whatever he's saying to her. So I think with that, I'm going to go ahead and call it good for now. And as I often say, there will be more later.